This is Support is Sexy, episode 60, and today we're going to talk about both and. Welcome to the Support is Sexy podcast. I'm your host, Elaine Fluker, entrepreneur, author, producer, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I talk to women entrepreneurs who share their journeys and the true stories of their wins and their lessons, and give you insight and inspiration to take your business and your life to the next level. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. This is Elaine. I am thrilled that you are here with me. I'm glad that you're okay. It's been a week of a lot of things not being okay, so I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate you, and as you know, it just would not be the same without you. So today I wanted to talk to you for a little bit about this idea of both and thinking, as opposed to either or. You consider both and. And I will tell you, I was first introduced to both and thinking when I was in the course Momentum, which I talk about a lot on this podcast. And I did the workshop last year, 2015. And this concept came up of considering how you can, it's not about having it all, but it is about allowing space for two things to exist, or for you to accomplish more than one thing, or for you to figure out how to experience more than one thing, or for you to figure out how two things can work together. So, for example, in your business, you may have two team leaders, or a decision between two different other ideas, or something that seem separate. But there could be a way, as opposed to you choosing either or, missing out on one great idea for the other great idea, there could be an opportunity for you to say, how can we have both and, both your idea and your idea? How can we make them work together? Now, of course, there are some times where you got to make a choice between the two, or it doesn't make sense to have the two together. But I know in my own experiences, there are times still where I have to check myself and say, I'm making this an either or decision when it could be a both and decision. And there's a lot of research, studies, surveys, etc. I'll link to a few of them in the show notes, where there's a talk about both and thinking for children, also helping them think from a broader scope of considering different perspectives, but also in leadership, not having this either or thinking broader, seeing the bigger picture of how things may be able to work together for the good of the project, the business, whatever you're working on. Something recently that made me start thinking about this more and just considering things in my business and the way things are moving, and the podcast is doing really well. So thank you guys again so much for listening. I appreciate you. But I remember when I first started this just a few months ago, at the time I was offered a very decent position. I won't say decent. A good position at a great company, a media company. And I laid out some of the things that I wanted from the position. And at first there was an agreement between myself and the company, and then there wasn't. And things shut down. And the only thing that they wanted was for me, still wanted me to be there, which is fantastic. But they wanted me to be there full time, all in 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, I guess, all the time there, focused. It's not 24 hours, but still it's a considerable chunk of your day. And I did not at that time take it. I did not even, I would say I considered it, but I decided no, that this wasn't the right thing for me, because the podcast I was working on at that time, I hadn't started recording and all those things, but that was really my focus. Had the blinders on. That's what I was going to do. I will say, give myself credit, I was trying to figure out how to have a both and in that situation. But in the instance where it was full time or not, I decided to walk away. I still have a great relationship with the company. I still think they're great people. Hopefully we will work together somehow in the future. But I do have those moments where I think, is there a way that I could have had the both and in that situation, even if it was just for a short period of time, or a year, 2 years, what have you? Did I walk away because I made it an either or choice, the podcast or the 9 to 5, when it could have been a both and, the 9 to 5 and the podcast on the weekends, or the podcast on off days, or the podcast on other days? I don't know, because I didn't consider it. So I haven't been going through a period of beating myself up, because we don't allow that around here. No beat ups. We don't beat ourselves up. We don't have any regrets. We learn as we go. We learn as we go. But I did want to mention to you all and share with you all, is there a space in your business where you're making an either or choice and you're not even considering both and as a possibility? Are you settling for either or when you could be experiencing both and? And this isn't about being greedy. This isn't about wanting to have it all, although having it all, I do believe is possible depending on what your all is, and having it all can come at different stages of your life. You can have all of this, all of that, different times of your life. But this is not about having it all, and this is not about a fear of missing out. Neither of those. This is about operating from a space of abundance, really. Making sure that you're aware that you're not saying, oh, it has to be either or because I couldn't possibly have both and. Making sure that you're not saying, oh, it can't be either or because I'm not capable of both and. Making sure you're not saying, oh, it has to be either or because why would I even end up having both and? That's not, no one does that. That's not possible. I'm not worthy. You may not say the words I'm not worthy, but there may be a part of you that is thinking, I'm not worthy of that. Or I couldn't possibly do that. Or how could I? Take a minute, think about it, consider it. Is this a situation, a possibility, an opportunity where you could experience both and as opposed to either or? Think also about, are you making the decision an either or decision because of fear? I know for me, sometimes there's a fear, or even if it's not a conscious fear, even if it's a subconscious fear of, I'm not going to be able to do this. It's going to be too much. And again, I'm not pushing to have to do everything. If it is too much, if you've thought about it and you've decided that, it's best for you to decide one or the other. But I know for me, there are times where the decision may be fear-based of an either or, and I'm not even considering the both and as a possibility. Or think about maybe it's a certain kind of relationship, right? Or having a relationship at all. Again, using myself as the example, I'm just putting it all out there. I have definitely had moments where I have said, I'm not going to focus on a relationship right now. I'm just going to focus on the business. I'm not going to focus on a relationship. I'm just going to focus on my career. I'm not going to, okay, why not have both? There is space in my life for both. For you, I'm sure there's space in your life for both. And you get to determine what that looks like. This isn't to say you have to go out every night on a date or whatever it looks like. You decide, you set the parameters, you do what feels good for you. But what doesn't feel good most of the time is saying, no, I can't do the business because I'm just focused on my relationship or family, etc., even though there may be times where that's necessary. Or saying, no, I can't do the relationship because I'm just focused on the business. Again, I have been there, I have done that, and I'm actually trying to get out of that mode of just focusing on the business because it can truly consume you. You all know this, if you're entrepreneurs, creatives, or even if you have a career that you're passionate about, and there are moments that take up your time, a lot of your time, but are you saying this is an either or decision as opposed to a both and? So I wanted to mention that to you all just to be aware of. Again, no beat up on anything that you made the choice between. If you made that choice, you've made it. If you can go back and consider it another way, sure, you can do that. If you can make a change and readjust some things so that you can have both and, I encourage you to consider it. But again, no beat up. We're not going to do that. I'm actually saying this to you as much as I'm saying it to myself. We're going to look forward and be aware of whether or not we're making a both and decision, which is a good thing, or we're making an either or decision, especially if it's out of fear. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please email me and let me know. Elaine at elainefluker.com, ELAYNE at ElaineFluker.com. Let me know what you think. Have you made a recent either or decision that could have been a both and decision? Or is there a both and decision that you're considering? You want to talk about it, you can email me, let me know. Also, go to supportissexypodcast.com to see more information about this episode, previous episodes from the week. I get it. You're busy. You didn't get to do the both and listen to the show and do all the things you had to do. You can get caught up this weekend or whenever you're listening to this. See the episodes there. See all the beautiful women that we feature. Diverse, beautiful, gorgeous. I'm just so excited about it. Diverse women, diverse experiences. We have it all there. supportissexypodcast.com. Again, I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. So now you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.